Some call it fate, some call it the universe's way of keeping score, but I just like to call it karma. And you're listening to Karma's A Mitch. I know a lot about it, so I like to share what goes on in my world. Lots have happened in the last week. Normally it's kind of like slow. It's been slow for a couple weeks, and I like it that way too. Don't get me wrong, but I had a lot of fun the last weekend. Last night, if you follow me over on my socials at Mitch.fm, you saw I was out at Festival of Friends. That was super last minute, but super fun to head on out there. So many people, I think they were saying like 30,000 people went and saw Brett Kissel for free in Gage Park, and it was so much fun. Had a handful of friends come on by as well the last couple weeks. Don't want to talk too much about that one. They know what happened, but just having some fun with some people. Enjoying the summer while it lasts, and before we get too busy into our own lives as well. Let's talk about Gage Park. Heading out there last night, like off a whim. I was not expecting to head out there. Just taking a friend back, Ange, actually. I took Ange back from, what was it, two weeks ago? Was it that one? Where we talked about Coldplay and all that sort of stuff. So I drove her back. So she's in downtown Hamilton. So I was like, you know what? I'm here. Hey, do you want to come with? And she said, no. So pick up another friend. And we went out and just hung out all day. I found a new Tragically Hip poster. Now, if you don't know, my entire wall behind me right now, full of hip stuff. I got a handful of different posters, like album release stuff, all the different albums and signed prints that I did also just found out was a reproduction. I think I said that last week, but I don't quite remember. And I don't honestly care to go back and listen to last week's hour-long episode. But, so I got a lot of hip stuff, but the poster I got was from the Man Machine Poem tour, which was their final tour after they released Man Machine Poem in 2016. And even it has all the dates on it. And then Kingston, August 20th, that's coming up quickly. I'm going to be watching the whole thing again at some point. It's on a Wednesday, so it's going to be actually half decent. Just, I don't have anything going, so maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do for it. Anyways, they got the poster, and even it says, support the Gord Downey Foundation with Sunnybrook, and catch the show live August 20th on CBC. And I mean, I can't talk about it for too long. It's just my favorite show. I have it on iTunes. I put it on every now and again, but it is absolutely my favorite thing to watch. I'm really hoping that next year for their 10-year anniversary, because this year's 9, I'm hoping for their 10-year anniversary they release it as an album. And I'm certain I've said that before, because I'm trying to manifest it. But just looking at all the dates and stuff, and actually seeing like Ticketmaster on this one, because I have another poster from 2004 when they released, oh my goodness, what was it? I don't even know what album that would have been. I think that was In Between Evolution. But I have the recording of that show as well. So that was really cool. And then they even have another one from World Container. So then they were, I don't even know if this one has the, no, it doesn't have the dates on it. It's just the actual album release for World Container, which I don't have the album of, but I did find a CD. So I do now have that one as well. Just missing a handful that I actually kind of want. We Are the Same, the one with the fire on the cover. What other ones? I think that's really it. Because I have Day for Night. I have In Violet Light. I have Fully Completely. I don't know if I have Road Apples. I think I'm missing Road Apples. I have Up to Here. I don't have their EP, but I don't know, maybe if I could find that on, like as a CD, I think I'll grab it. And then, what else is there? I was going to talk about Festival of Friends. I've completely sidetracked myself because I got to talking about the hip again. But that's what I found there. Was it maybe a little too much? Maybe, but like I've never seen it before, so I'm really glad I picked that one up. And then there's also, I mean, that was my job, was to wander around these festivals and do all that sort of stuff. So to know that I was going to be there anyways, if I was in the cruiser or not, it was pretty cool just to actually be able to walk around and not have to worry about working. I did run into Mikey. I don't know. He's not really my co-host. He was my host for the show. So I had spent so much time talking to him. So it was nice to catch up and see him again. We talked all things station and maybe some things that are going to be happening in the future. But let's see what happens first. No, it was really good to see him again. A handful of other people were there, but I didn't end up running into them. I'm sure I could have if I really needed to, but we were just gonna enjoy the music and have some fun that way. Sat right behind the music booth, like the control area, because there weren't anyone there, and that's where you get the best sound quality if you're going to a show. You sit behind or right in front of, sit right in front of it, because if you sit behind it, you can't see. But I didn't really care, because Brett Kissel's short. And I mean, I've met him before. Like, I've actually met him in person before. The last time I saw him, he came the day before 2 other artists were coming. And he heard about them, and he goes, "Oh, I've never had the chance to meet them. Like, I love meeting the new up-and-comers, so they're coming in." He turns to me and goes, "Mitch, go grab me a pen and some paper, and like I'm gonna write them a note." So he wrote them a really nice note for them, and oh my goodness, it was great to see, because I got to watch the 2 other artists read them as well. So just, he didn't have to do it. His manager was like, "Dude, we gotta go. Like, come on, let's go." But he was just adamant, like, "No, let me do this. Let me like say hi, and let me give them my words of wisdom as much as I can in a note." So that's the kind of guy Brett Kissel is. And when he was doing his show, there was a little girl near the front, and he brought her up stage. She had the sign, "Oh, it's my first Brett Kissel concert." So he sang the last couple lyrics of one of the songs with her on stage, and he signed her sign and everything. And like, it is 100%, he does everything for someone else. I don't think he does much for himself. He was talking about keeping the family ranch in the family again. He just bought it off his grandmother and grandfather out in, I think it's out in Alberta. But like, I've heard wonderful things about the ranch as well. Just absolutely amazing spot that a lot of country artists actually go out and visit. But no, I've never heard bad things about many country artists. Played all the hits, played some new stuff as well. Played some Garth Brooks, which was really good. Call 'em Baton Rouge, and then he did kind of a menagerie at the end. He did a Nickelback cover, and then he closed out with Country Roads Take Me Home for right at the end. So really great, again, free concert. I had a lot of fun watching it. I mean, I didn't really watch. I was sat behind the thing on the ground, but I had fun listening. Like, I'd never been to a Brett Kissel concert before. I had gone. I had the opportunity, I think, to go to one in Brantford. I think it was either that or it was somewhere else. But I think I was milking, so I couldn't go. But no, it was really good. Like, really good to see him. Really good to see everyone else that was there. So much fun. Again, it was just off a whim. I was not expecting to go at all until I just was there, and I said, "You know what? Let's see if someone else wants to go, and then I'll go." And it was a really good night. I got in at 1 because they shut down like most of the 403, and it was brutal. So I had to detour around, but it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. And absolutely would do it again. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. There was like a fist fight. Like, was it before or was he on? There was some sort of altercation when we were watching the show. And like these two guys just start going at it, and then their like wives and girlfriends start holding them back, and there was like other people around, and they were all like pushing back, and then they just start like yelling and screaming. It's so loud I can't hear what's going on. But then the guy walks past me, and then I'm like, he's got a ponytail. That explains a lot of what just happened. I think I know what side I'm on at this point, actually. But like, they're just the crazy things, and like oh my goodness, there was so much haze. I don't know if it was stage smoke or if it was smoke, because like the smell was just so overpowering. Like, I understand it's illegal, but like, if they have a beer gardens where the only place you can drink is in the beer garden, or is that just, I think it's just the only place you can purchase alcohol, because obviously people are bringing in whatever the heck they want, right? Because it's just a park. You're not supposed to, but really, what does it stop anyone? And then everyone's smoking. Like, you know, I think you should just be nice to whoever's around and not do all that stuff. Like, go off to the corner or get high. Like, you don't have to do it in a crowd of 30,000 people. I think that's absurd. Like, all the people that do it at sports games and all that sort of, like, it's just crazy, especially with the vape pens and stuff, or I guess, well, I don't know what they call them, but the ones with the weed in it. Can you tell, like, don't smoke? But that was another thing that I didn't really appreciate. But again, it's a free concert. People are going to spend their money in other ways too, right? But that's just the one thing that kind of ticks me off. Like, you can see, like, there's a good chance it was also a lot of the like stage smoke, pyro. But there was also a good amount of weed floating around the crowd. Oh my goodness. But I did have a lot of fun there. There's so many songs that I knew, because I mean, I grew up on the country radio. I grew up on 94.7, so I knew all this stuff. And I mean, they're such good friends with them as well. But like, Brett Kissel's just good friends with everyone there. So he knows that, you know, if he shows up with an MP3 that, you know, he emails in, we're gonna play it, and we're gonna play it like right in. And we're going to be the first ones that put a song on. And there's been a lot of them where first people to play the song. And there was actually one that he hasn't released yet, and he played. But it's really weird to be going to these sorts of things and people aren't singing along to some of them. Like, I just saw a video of Nickelback performing How You Remind Me for the first time in front of a crowd before they released it on an album. And to see them performing the song and have, like, no one screaming, no one shouting, no one singing along was absurd to me, because that would be the massive one. Like, that's a massive one. Everyone would be singing along to it. So that's the sort of thing that happens. But everyone just had a good time with everything else too, because country's coming back. Like, they're bringing country back, and the amount of people that, you know, show up in the hats and the boots and all that sort of stuff and the whole getup. And I was probably, again, the most country one there. I had my barn clothes on because I was not planning on going out. I was just planning on, you know, making a drive into the city, and that was it. And then I was, well, you know, if I'm here, I might as well go to Festival of Friends as well. It's free. I know people there. I've met Brett Kissel before. Again, amazing guy. I can't say that enough. And I mean, he just showed it at the concert as well. He does everything for the fan, and that's what I do really appreciate that with him. But a lot of the country and stuff now is also, you know, lots of electric guitar. They did have a fiddle, which was kind of surprising to me. But you know, for Colin Baton Rouge and that sort of thing, and they did a fiddle solo in the Nickelback song as well. I don't remember which one it was. I don't remember. Yeah, well, I probably won't. I don't know many of the titles of the Nickelback songs, but I had a lot of fun. I've been picking back up the guitar as well. Like I have a really nice. Is it a Yamaha? I think it's a Yamaha. Yamaha, just 6-string acoustic. I also have a. What is it? Is it a Robson 7? It's like some electric guitar, but like the problem with the electric guitar is the actual plug is kind of odd. Like it's kind of come out and it's not really great, but oh well. What else is there? Right? It was free. That an amp for free. Whatever. What can you do? I might have to take it apart and see. Because when I took it to get restrung, the guys took it apart and looked at it, and they said that the wires were loose. So they said they reattached them, but maybe they just didn't do it very, very good. But I don't know. I also don't touch it much. I like the acoustic a little bit better because I am not good. I know like 5 or 6 chords, and I'm just picking up a handful of other ones that I can now quickly, not quickly, but I can better swap to than before. I could not play a B minor. I sucked at that, but now it's better. It's still not great. I'm trying to do a little bit more tabbing as well. The Deliverance, dueling banjos, but I'm not that good yet. But it's just trying to get the different fingerings and that sort of stuff, and switching between the chords quickly enough to where I don't have to stop. But it's mostly like the country, and then a handful of the softer hip songs, the kind of like Phantom Power on. But a lot of them are also pretty difficult, to be honest. And a lot of them aren't transposed because I like some of the more different ones, like Man Machine. Sorry. Now Between. Oh my goodness. What one was it? Now for Plan A. That's it. Wow. I can't figure it out. I said Man Machine Poem because that's a song on the album. That's why I said it. But I've been picking it up a little bit more, just strumming along when I can, and it's just practice, right? Practice makes perfect. But it's a little bit more difficult for me because I cannot sit through one thing without like having to change and having to go back, and if it's not perfect, then I get upset, and that's my problem with the electric guitar. Because with a lot of songs that have an electric guitar, they have a crazy pedal board. Because I've wanted to pick up a song, a handful of songs by the kind of band I listen to out in LA, Wilt, and a lot of their stuff, it just like it's really good. I've said it before, where their guitar is the only thing I'll listen to that is very highly transposed by the pedals. Like it is, what's the word for that? I can't remember. I forget a lot of words, to be honest. English is my worst language. It's also the only one I know. Just the different sounds and the different tunes and all that sort of stuff that they do with the guitars. A lot of the time when most people do it, they overdo it. But I think it just sounds really well how Wilt does it. So that's my thing with with Wilt. But I love them so much. So I've been trying to pick up a handful of their stuff, but it's different because going from country and that sort of thing to like kind of the new rock or pop rock, that sort of stuff. And also just doing something on an acoustic that isn't done on an acoustic is very hard as well. So it's just that sort of stuff, because I would love to do Big Wreck, like a handful of songs from the album I like, and then just more hip, really, and a handful of other things. All those big songs. I don't want to overdo it. Like the Smoke on the Water or Stairway to Heaven. Like the band riffs. But just other popular stuff that I like to listen to as well, on top of it all. But it just gives me an opportunity to sit down and enjoy the music. It's probably not something I'd ever really share, because again, I'm bad at it. And I also can't sing. So what does it matter if I'm just like strumming chords if I'm not also singing along to it? Because if you're not doing that, then you might as well just tab, because then you can actually get more of the music, like as per the song, like true to the song, and not just tab going along with the chords, and then you can sing and fill in the gaps, so then people actually know what you're playing. But it's just a way for me to enjoy it just a little bit more. And of course, it's just fun. Hand-eye coordination. My hand-eye coordination's not exactly the best, especially for like the little things. But like, yeah, I need to get back into doing something like that. Because like my brother did soccer. Does he still have more? I don't know what he is doing. I don't really care. I do care. They actually won their first game, like, ever, which was insane. I was actually there for that one, which is great. But he was goalie for the second half, and he let in one, and I screamed across the field, like across all the other players' parents, that he was walking home, and I got some stares for that one. But no, that one was actually a half decent game. I didn't even think they did. I couldn't keep track because I was so upset that he let in a goal. That's how I thought they tied, until afterwards they were like, no, they actually like scored 3. It was 3-2. And then he just went in to see the Forge game that was on Saturday as well. It's a civic. I'm so screwed up with the last couple days. It's a civic holiday, Monday. The civic holiday was the worst one in the cruiser because there was nothing ever going on. I had to go to Brampton one year because there was just nothing. I went up to Brampton for a what was it? It was a Caribbean festival. Downtown Brampton, like just in a park. I had to find parking, so I parked in an underground parking lot, so I couldn't even sit in the car and do my breaks. I had to be there in the park because it was the only place I had cell reception, because of all the big buildings and that sort of thing. But it was definitely an experience. Like it was great until they started talking about taking back the motherland, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be here. But they were really confused as to why I was there. I don't know if it was because I was the only white guy around, or if it was, because I just showed up and was like, hey, can I talk about this? Like, I'm media. But I don't know. They were just like, I guess, sure. I don't know what you really want to do. And I'm like, neither do I. I've been doing this for like 3 weeks at this point. But like it wasn't a bad drive. Again, out in Brampton, of all places. But I liked it. They had, markets, lots of food, lots of music. Like it was very entertaining. And then they started doing speeches and stuff, and that's when I was like, maybe I shouldn't be here. Like, I've heard a lot of people just work through the civic holiday, which was, I don't know. I don't think it's weird to me because I worked all the holidays, right? But at least for most of those, I was able to find something to do. Like, New Year's Day sucked. That one was a bad one because everyone was just hungover and no one wanted to do anything, and everyone just slept in anyway. Then there was also, most of them had stuff going on. The Easter Monday wasn't good because everything happened on the Good Friday, which I wasn't out on. So that one was the one where I was always like, hey, can I go out on this day? I can also go out, then. But, like, everything's happening now. Please just let me go out so I can talk about something. Because there's all this stuff, and it's just, But, anyways. What do we got coming up? Oh, we got my career coaching barbecue coming up on Wednesday. So that's going to be fun. Get out there and see everyone again. Because I think they're going to be doing it again, but I'm not 100% sure. Because it was really thrown together this year with the career coaching. Because no one really knew what was going on. No one knew what happen, like what was going to happen, how to do it, anything like that. But now they have a menagerie of different career coaches and that sort of thing as well. That, I mean, they spanned a wide variety. I know the kids on the sheets had said, like I wanted more of a spread, but like you can't have everything. Like it's really hard to do it, and then all these people are volunteering time out of their days, a lot of the time getting out of work to go and volunteer at this sort of thing. I wasn't, because I was unemployed. There was very few of them that I actually missed. And I guess other people from KX went to those ones. So very few did we actually mix, and which was odd because we never talked about it. We were just like, oh, I just thought you did the one, and then you never showed up to the other ones. But so it'll be good to go back and see everyone else there, because I mean I showed up to probably the most of them, some of the most. The other guy was the dental college owner, because he said he didn't have anything better to do either than to go to these sorts of events, because I would see them around all over as well, and they would actually advertise on the Grand for, hey, come on out, pay $50 and you'll get your teeth cleaned for like a year, as many times as you want, by the students. So it was really cool to see them, because I mean I had heard about them all the time. When did they do because they did a remote out there as well, which was really weird. I don't know why that was from one of the sales reps that just sold remotes to everything because it was more money, rather that it needed a remote or not. It was really weird. We also did one at an auction house as well. The ones at the pool shop was actually like decent, because hey, come on out and see the pools, right? Not like, oh, come on out and spend tens of thousands of dollars on an antique car, because I know you absolutely want to do that on a day where it's pissing down rain. But yeah, no. So just to go out and hang out and do something on a Wednesday afternoon, right? So it'll be fun. I'll get out there, go see them. And maybe they'll do it again next year, come the fall, and they can kind of plan it just a little bit better, because a lot of the times it was 2-3 a week, and it would just be bang, 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 banging them out. And even then, like, things would change up, and we'd try different things. And the one thing I really loved was doing it again. I'm gonna go back into that. I mean, I already did the career coach stuff on my, what was it? Was it the first episode? Or the second? Whatever one, you'll see it. The unemployed career coach. I could pull it up right now, but I really don't care. But when we would go around to the classrooms itself, and there would be 3 or 4 people, and it would just be a conversation. It wasn't a speech. It was, here's a couple questions about, what we do, a little bit about us, like what kind of person do you have to be to work in this field. My favorite one was just like, hey, what were you like in high school? And I was just like, I was weird. I was a theater kid. I did the drama. I was the voice of the school. If there was something that no one else wanted to announce, it was, hey, Mitch, come up, grab the microphone and say something. So I would have to go up and I would have to improv. The one was the Native Club, and for the grade 9 day. So they're like, we're the Native Club. Mitch, come over here. Say something about it. So then I had nothing prepared. I didn't know I was going to say anything. So I just rambled on, and I kept looking off for an out, and they're just like, yeah, keep going. So I talked the longest out of any of the other clubs, and I had nothing prepared. But that's just the kind of person that I am as well. I can just go on forever. That's why I have a podcast where I go on for like an hour about just whatever, and I can sidetrack myself as much as I'd like. But it was a lot of fun, so I would absolutely do it again. That's another thing I would absolutely want is I want to take a co-op student, because the amount of co-op teachers I talked to, and they were like, hey, like, we don't know any way of getting in. And I go, yeah, neither did I. I just showed up and basically begged. I kind of told them as well, like, hey, I'm that co-op student, what's going on? Like, I just drove in 45 minutes and I have no clue what's going on. Why isn't anyone getting back to me? What's, like, can we get the ball rolling? And that's how I got in. And a lot of people don't understand that if you get a no, it's not a no until it's no, stop contacting me, I'm going to call the cops. Which is a tactic used in sales a lot. But no, it was a lot of fun. And also just talking about Mohawk and that sort of thing, and the who, what, where, when, and why, fun stories, not so fun stories. I was able to connect with the kids as well, because I'd only been out of high school 2 years, which is crazy. I was a grade 9, what was that, 5 years ago? A little bit more, 6 years ago? I don't even know. Yeah, 4 years of 5 years of high school. 4 of them I wasn't a grade 9, plus 2 years, so 6 years. 6 years ago I was a grade 9, and closely upgrading to 7. And sure, it's a bit of time, but I also knew nothing about what I wanted to do. So being able to go, hey, you don't have to have a plan, you don't have to have it all figured out. And I would tell some of the kids, and they go, well, that lady over there just told us we did. And I said, she's wrong. She doesn't know what she's doing. She might think she does, but trust me, she doesn't. Because things change, life changes. Because I've been listening to more country, especially Thomas Rhett's Life Changes album. Is it Life Changes? Maybe. I don't really care. I could, again, look that up. It's the song Life Changes, but there was a handful of songs on the album. And that's really what it is like, as much as you want to say that you know something, and as much as you want to say that you're dead set, things change. It'll happen just like that. But So being able to quell that kind of fear that, oh, I have to know what's going on, because again, you don't. So that was a really, really fun to do. I'd love to do it again, and I know there's so many people there that were happy with how I handled it and how I gave feedback and how I was able to work directly with the kids. But again, it's also depending on the students and depending on everything. It's not always easy, and they knew that. But just to be able to be available for whenever, I'd just like to, say hi again and check back in and that sort of thing. So I'm happy to get on out. And again, it gets me out of here. Because as much as I love to do all the stuff I do here, it does get monotonous. And, I try and do something different every now and again. So, try something new. Get out and enjoy myself for an afternoon and have some fun, right? So, I'm looking forward to that. Maybe I'll post something, again, over on the socials, Mitch.fm, Mitch.dotfm. I do have a handful of pictures and videos from Brett Kissel last night. But, well, I'm awful at posting things. I have so many I probably have a picture of Brett Kissel that I didn't post. But he was also, like, very hastily going from here to there and everywhere. Because he has a hard case for his cowboy hat. It's probably absolutely worth it to have it, but like, he would show up in a ball cap and, it's time for pictures. Let's pull out the cowboy hat and we'll take pictures with that. And it's the hat that he performs in. It's all that sort of stuff. He told us last night that he did a music video where he put it all on the line. He says to ride a 2,500 pound bull for a music video, just to say that he did it. Cowboys and Dreamers was the song. So I still gotta look that one up, because that does sound very interesting at the very least. So that would be fun. But like, again, he does it all for the fans, and he does it all, just to say he did it, and to not have a question about, I wish I did that, or what if. And that's what I said as well in my career coaching stuff. Like, you don't want to think 80, when you're 80 and you're thinking back and you go, this was a safe bet, but what if I did take that jump? And that's what I did to get into radio. I just said, you know what? I'm given this opportunity. What if I just take it and run with it? And that's what I did. But now there's other opportunities around, and now I'm thinking, well, what if I do that? So it's difficult to know where to draw that line, and it's difficult to know if you're going to regret it or not in the future, or if you're just going to regret that you didn't make that decision. So that's kind of what I take away from a lot of it. Sure, country music is like kind of clowned on as well for having really simple lyrics. It's a tell, don't show method, where you physically tell the story. A lot of it is kind of talking with a little sing-songy tune, and some music in the background, acoustic guitar, and you're telling a story. But so sometimes people do it bad, and other times people do it really well. But it's a very scrutinized media because, it is simple, but it holds so much more of a message, I think, than any other music genre does, because so much of it is so personal to either the writer or the musician, or even just the fans as well. Because he told a story about he wrote a song after his grandparents died in a car crash. Not the same ones that he bought a ranch off of, I don't think. I didn't ask him personally, and he didn't say, so I wouldn't know. But I'm going to guess, not the same grandparents. When he said, this is why I wrote the song, but you're going to have your own associations with it, and that's what's beautiful. And that's what I really liked about it. And sure, it's kind of simple, but people are able to take that and put their own meaning into it. Like the Big Wreck album, In Loving Memory Of. Now, Ian Thornley had said that a lot of the songs are about this one girl that still screws him over. Not like, but like, her memory still haunts him 20 years later. But I took it and I kind of started piecing the songs together, and whether they were associated with her or not, but to tell a different story that kind of fit my narrative. And I would love to do a set of music videos for the whole album that just ties them all together and tells a really cool story. But I don't know. Who knows? Because I want to do a lot of things, but I don't know if that's going to be one of them. It's just one of those things that I continue to think about all the time. And it's just really fun to do so. But, to put together like a story into music, and because the Hip is doing that jukebox musical. Well, someone else is doing it, and the Hip is also just promoting it. I don't know how much they actually have into it, but that's going to be at Theater Aquarius, I think in 2026, like August of 2026. So if I'm still around, I absolutely want to do that. Like, I'm not going to miss that. No matter what day it's on, no matter what, I'm not missing that one. And I don't even really like musicals, but again, it's the music that I already like. And I'd really love to see how they do it, because Mamma Mia was a jukebox musical, I'm pretty sure. That's like the style of it, they take the studio albums and they tie it together into a story. And I feel like the Hip is one of those bands that you can do really well with that. And that's kind of what I do with Big Wreck. But, maybe you don't know. I keep saying that. Yeah, who hates it? Oh, someone just hates when someone else says Oh, it was Louis Spears' friend. I was watching his podcast, and he goes, I hate when people say Like, no, I don't know. Why would I know? Maybe when I do know, yes. But when I don't know, no. What are you on about? I don't know. You're insane. I don't know what's going on in there. Oh, he's awesome. 30-something years old, and he just got his driver's license. And everyone's making fun of him online for it. They went to his driving instructor's page and was like, you passed this? Like, you helped this pass? Thanks for making the roads less safe. Like, my brother's going for it soon. Maybe not soon. We were supposed to book it. So, we'll see how that goes for his G. Because my G test was brutal, but I made the mistake of doing it in Brantford. And the lady I got was absolutely insane. But, like, she got me on a handful of things that I don't even understand that I, one, did it in the first place. There were a handful of things she's like, you did this. And I'm like, no, I didn't. You're insane. And there's a handful of other things, and it was like, you slowed down when you shouldn't have. And I'm like, well, either we missed the exit, which would not go over well, because I know where I am in Brantford, and missing an exit is bad, because there isn't another one. Or I slow down a little bit because there's no one behind me, and the dump truck beside me is going too fast. You have two options. I think I made the better one. And she was like screaming at me, and then she like collects herself and is like, you know, you can do it again in 2 weeks. We have a lot of open spaces. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. I wonder why. It's because you're insane. So then I went to Simcoe, and I did it there, and I passed. I also had an ambulance like fly by me, and I had to pull over. I pulled over like super early, because I was like, you know what? It's better than too late, in my opinion. So, because like it caused me to run a red light. So they flipped the lights. Like the ambulance flipped the lights. So I was going perpendicular to it, which parallel, you're going the same way. Perpendicular, we're like at 90 degrees to each other at the red light. But just how the road met, it ended up that we were going head on later. So as I'm going through, doing the checks, it's a green light, do my 2 checks, and then I look up, and it's only been like a second, because, just 1, 2, maybe a third, and then I look up and it's red, and I go, I swear that was green. So she starts like checking things off on the clipboard, and I'm panicking at that point. So we go down around and, turn here, turn there. We end up head on with that ambulance. And I pull over, and we just kind of sit there and we wait. And it's in no hurry, but it's got lights and sirens on. So I pull over to the side of the road, and I just wait. It passes me, and I, check, do my thing, and I signal out, and, just go back around, and we end up back in the lot. And then she's like, and as that ambulance passes us, she starts like just tapping the same spot. So I think it was the undo button of like, oh, he didn't run a red light, the ambulance just tripped it without a yellow. And not my fault. I didn't actually run a red light like the other woman said I did, which was insane, because I went before the light, like before I was even jurisdicted by the light. I am very mad about that still, if you cannot tell. But no, and it was that's how my G test went. What was I talking about? I don't even remember. But I have to go somewhere tonight, and I do need to get this out. So I think I'm going to wrap that up right around here. Of course, you can always head on back over to my socials, Mitch.fm, Mitch, DOTFM. It's not a period. Trust me, I tried. One of the social medias didn't like it. You can also head on over to my website again, mitchdotfm.ca, and you can get everywhere where you want to listen to that podcast, to this podcast. Maybe, you've been listening on YouTube and you say, I want to be able to download it and take it on the go. Well, don't worry, because you can do that. We're on Apple Music, Spotify. We're over on Amazon as well. You can always, it's telling your smart speaker, hey, you know, put on Karma's A Mitch, and it's going to play for you right then. You can also say which episode, because we are, I think I'm serialized. I don't know. But it does say in the title, so you know which one you're listening to. So thank you again for listening. I know it's a little shorter, but I couldn't do it yesterday. And today I'm on a time pinch, and something's better than nothing. And look at that, we hit the 45-minute mark. That's what I'm kind of going for here as well. Because, you know, for as long as it takes me to record, like to actually put together all the audio, it takes me twice as long because I'm, you know, editing, I'm closing things out. You know, I'm looking things up just to make sure I'm not insane, unless I tell you that I'm not. But, you know, pausing things to go do other things. It takes me a while to record these. So thank you so much for listening. You can always, you know, leave a comment over on YouTube, like, you know, share, follow me as well. Maybe you can even leave a review. I think you can leave a review over on some of the podcasting apps. But if you can, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget, what goes around comes around. And karma's a Mitch.